Ramadan is right around the corner, but that does not mean our gains are on hold. In this video, we're going to discuss how we can manage our training and nutrition whilst fasting during the month of Ramadan. So let's get started. Fasting during the month of Ramadan whilst maintaining your training and nutrition does come up with challenges for many Muslims. These are the most common challenges that many Muslims face whilst fasting during the month of Ramadan, along with maintaining their training and nutrition. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset, so they don't eat or drink anything throughout that time period, and this includes water. And some challenges include that you're not fueling your body as well as normal during this time, as you're not eating or drinking anything. And when you're only allowed to eat or drink after sunset or before sunrise, then especially if you're in countries like Iceland where the fast times can be upwards of 19 or 20 hours, this is a very short time frame to fuel up your body, as well as balancing out your prayers or any other religious duties that you may do during the month of Ramadan. Dehydration is another struggle that many Muslims go through during the month of Ramadan. As we know, when Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset, this includes no water throughout that period. And with countries with longer fast times, for example countries like Iceland, then the time frame to be able to get your daily water intake, as well as any electrolytes, for example magnesium, potassium, sodium, etc., then this can make things very easy to become dehydrated during that month. And when you're dehydrated, this will decrease the performance levels you put into your gym sessions, as well as workout efficiencies. And with the decrease in performance and efficiencies during your workouts, this can lead to a decrease in muscle gain, fat loss, or any sort of gym progress. Don't let these challenges get to your head when fasting during the month of Ramadan, as if you watch till the end of this video, I'll give you tips and tricks to overcome these challenges whilst fasting during the month of Ramadan. And remember this, in Surah 94 verse 5, Allah says in the Quran, verily with hardship comes with ease. So during this month, ensure to embrace those challenges and use them to thrive in this month and further. When it comes to training times during the month of Ramadan, you usually have three options. First option is just before Iftar or Maghrib, when you break your fast. The training in this time can consist of light strength training, some fasted cardio, lower mobility work. Nothing too strenuous, as you've not been fueling your body throughout the whole day, making it harder to perform high intensity workouts. A good advantage of this is that it's easier for fat loss, as you're doing fasted exercise or training, meaning that you're using fat as your primary energy source. And when you use fat for fuel, it's easier to burn fat whilst being in a calorie deficit. And for those of you who are looking to drop some pounds, then training just before Maghrib or Iftar, this makes it much easier for you to lose weight. However, a massive disadvantage of training just before Iftar is that you've not been fully fueling your body as much as you normally would, meaning that you're not able to perform workouts as intense as normal. And when you're performing without any fuel or with intensity, this can lead to injuries, as your body is not able to perform at its optimum. You can also train just after Iftar, so once you've broken your fast and prayed Maghrib, you can head straight to the gym and hit up a high quality gym session just after Iftar. And training after Iftar can consist of heavy strength training or any high intensity exercise. And now that you've broken your fast, you're much more energized and you've filled up your body for a much more intense workout. And an advantage of this is that you can go much more intense as now that you've fueled your body. And we all know that carbs are very important for training, just before training, and typically iftar meals, they consist of a lot of carbs, so you can use those carbs that you've had during iftar to fuel up your workouts, gain a great pump and match the intensity that you would normally have during outside the months of Ramadan. However, a big disadvantage of training just after iftar is that after you've had a heavy meal, then it can cause discomfort when training, as training in a full stomach is not ideal, and this can impact the intensity you can go through during workouts. You can also hit up a high quality gym session late at night before or after your Tarawih prayers. That's when the food that you've had for iftar has been more fully digested, meaning that you can use more of the food you've had during iftar for fuel, and you're not as bloated or as full as you were, meaning that you can hit up a high quality gym session without any sort of discomfort or fatigue that may occur. And with high intensity workouts, your muscles get worked more, and therefore you're able to perform at a higher rate, leading to more gains. And when you're training late at night, you can have a pre-workout, which is your iftar, and then after you've hit up a high quality gym session, then your post-workouts can be something pretty light. Just before suhoor, you can have a high carb drink or high glycemic carb drink such as Lucozade, or just to replenish those glycogen stores that you've used during your workouts and recover further. However, a big con of training at night is that it can interfere with prayers, and training at night can interfere with your sleep, which can mess up your recovery. When you're training during Ramadan, make sure you have a training plan just so that you know what you're doing and you're not training mindlessly during Ramadan. And by the way, you should not be training mindlessly at all. So, for example, if you're training fasted this Ramadan, make sure to go a bit lighter than usual, as you haven't fueled yourself as much as normal. Maybe do a bit of light intensity cardio instead of high intensity cardio, as you're not as energized as usual. Definitely work on flexibility, mobility, and try and not go too strenuous if you're training fasted. However, if you're training after iftar or late at night, make sure you're focusing on heavy compound movements, for example squats, bench presses and deadlifts, and in this way you're hitting as many muscles as you can whilst minimizing workouts volume. And with low volume, high intensity, this can minimize the risk of injury, it minimizes the time required for the gym, and it leaves us more time to fully embrace Ramadan and get the most out of Ramadan. Remember, during the month of Ramadan, this is not about PRs or building strength. Try and maintain as much strength as possible during this month, and use this as motivation to keep pushing further as you go along your gym journey. Managing your nutrition throughout the month of Ramadan is very simple. You have your suhoor and your iftar. Your suhoor is like your breakfast, so when you're having your suhoor, just have foods that you would normally have for breakfast. For example, with your carbs, aim to have simple carbs such as fruits, whole grains and oats. I'd highly emphasize having protein, as protein is extremely filling and it minimizes appetite. So have a high protein suhoor. For example, have some steak, some chicken, fish, eggs, bit of milk, yogurt, anything you can think of that's high quality protein, and have that as well. Don't forget your healthy fats, as these fats has 9 grams of protein per 9 grams of calories per gram, and healthy fats is extremely satiating and you can use that fat for fuel as well. You're not to be having any trans fats or any refined carbs, as trans fats, for example, sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, canola oil, etc. And refined carbs, for example, anything high in sugar, caffeine, or any low quality carbs such as energy drinks, white rice, white pasta, cereal. These are foods to completely avoid during suhoor, as these release energy very quickly, and you won't have that energy that lasts you throughout the day, which can make Ramadan unnecessarily harder. And for iftar, which is something a lot of people really look forward to once they break their fasts, for a lot of people, they break their fast with dates and water. This is fantastic, as dates are a really good carb to recover from your fast, and having water is fantastic for hydration as you break your fast. And once you've had your dates and water, you prayed your maghrib, and following on you have your iftar. That's the most exciting part of the whole process. You're probably having a variety of foods during that time, along with drinks. I would say just avoid eating too much during iftar, as it can bloat you, making you full and sluggish, which can directly impact your any religious duties, for example prayer, Quran, Taraweeh, etc. Eating too much for iftar can even impact your workouts, as you eat a large volume of food. If you just go to the gym straight away, then this can affect your workouts, making you feel awful during your workouts, and you're not performing as well. So I would definitely say avoid eating too much for iftar, especially refined fats, trans fats, or refined carbs in iftar, as trans fats and refined carbs can negatively impact your training times. I'd also say completely avoid sugar where you can during Ramadan, as sugar increases insulin, and having high levels of insulin can impact tiredness, and we don't want to be tired during Ramadan. We want Ramadan to be as productive as possible. And I highly emphasize hydrating yourself with lots of water as well as electrolytes, and having electrolytes can help you thrive more during Ramadan, doing more activities and just being your best self during Ramadan. Recovery is a vital part of fitness and training, so during this month of Ramadan, really prioritize your recovery. So for example, during the night times, always have 7 to 8 hours of sleep to maximize recovery and maximize productivity, so you can perform your prayers, your fitness and everything else in between as efficiently as possible. Throughout the day, if you ever crash, then I'd highly recommend take power naps. For example, during the day, if you're feeling really tired, take around 2-hour power nap. Really focus on ensuring you have enough rest, and minimize scrolling through social media when possible. Just in Ramadan, just because you're not eating and drinking throughout the whole day does not mean that the world comes at a halt. You're probably still doing the same activities as you would normally do outside of Ramadan. So I highly suggest that, as Ramadan can be more strenuous to the body, make sure you keep up your daily activities to ensure maximum productivity in Ramadan. During this month, I know that a lot of people would think, I'm just going to sleep all day and fast. Yes, the fast may be valid, but the rewards and the blessings won't be there, as you've not been productive throughout the month. So I would say keep up with your religious duties, keep up with the workouts, and with the most productivity, you'll have the best benefits and rewards throughout this month. If you found this video useful, make sure to like, comment and share, and be sure to subscribe for much more free value. Comment down below, what's your greatest challenge whilst fasting during Ramadan and maintaining your training? I'd love to hear your thoughts below, and I'll be more than happy to help out. May Allah bring you all the blessings there is during this month, and may Allah reward you for your efforts. And I wish you all the best for this Ramadan, and I wish you the most productive Ramadan possible. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.